Thanks, Rick. Basketball on the Big Ten Network presented by Jeep. The 17th ranked Illinois Fighting Illini trying to halt a two-game skid, hosting in-state rival Northwestern. And the Illini shorthanded for the second straight game. Their starting center, Tomislav Ivičić.
Around as a pro or as a college player, they're going to come out with energy, as you said, and ready to go.
Northwestern controls the tip. This is Jalen Leach. Leach has been pretty good recently, but great start there for the Illini. And right away, we see the energy. The held ball goes to Illinois. Orlando Antigua was saying 50.
Setting the tone, getting his hands on the ball right away.
Northwestern averages the fewest turnovers in the Big Ten, but starting poorly there. And now we'll see what Illinois has got on the offensive end. This is Humrickhouse. Been in a little bit of a slump lately. And that one rims out. Rebound. Behind only Purdue.
Does a great job recruiting. Talks about his pillars of the program, skill and positional size. He's got that in spades. He's raising pros over here in Champaign.
There's Martinelli. Had the huge game in Evanston. That one doesn't go from White, but the rebound to Humrickhouse and a fresh 20 for the Fighting Illini. Through the lane with a jam for Johnson.
No Tomislav Ivičić, but the Illini are still going to hit the glass, still send 5 guys. It's Humrickhouse that time. 6th in the country in offensive rebounding percentage.
Martinelli will try another 3, and this one goes. So the first 3-point shooter in his career up until this season. Had a lot of dimensions to his game. Jakic in the corner, Humrickhouse. 5 to shoot. Humrickhouse on the drive, and he's fouled by Nicholson. Good aggressive take there by Humrickhouse.
No time like the present with no Ivičić. Got a bit more in the season. 75% of his shots are 3s, so a concerted effort.
7 threes in their win over Indiana the other night. Jakic on the drive. Inside, they dish it off, and Johnson is fouled.
Great cut there by Kylan Boswell.
Bench, something he does not do very much. And that one rolls in. Shouldering a lot more responsibility here with Ivičić out of the game. Hits Barnheiser, falls down, gets it to Leach. This is Keenan Fitzmaurice just in the game for the Cats, and a rare basket for Keenan Fitzmaurice.
To play through anything, which is I think what you love about him as a Northwestern fan, coaching staff and player.
Near turnover by the Illini, able to save it, gives Lawhorn. White through the lane, lays it in.
Northwestern in great position. Illinois' ability early on to play one-on-one defense against Barnheiser and Martinelli is allowing them to stay home on shooters.
Here's White looking for 2 hoops in a row, and he's got it. 4 points for Trey White, who's been struggling a little bit. Just 17 points over the last 3 games combined.
And one of their best players in conference play. He can get to the basket, hit that mid-range, and offensive rebound like everybody else. Nice block by KJ.
Jakic the block, 2-on-1, and an easy 2 for Jake Davis. Humrickhouse has it. Nothing has come easy for Northwestern.
Well, and that's a mistake by Martinelli. He has to set a good screen there for Barnheiser to get that switch.
And Humrickhouse hits the 3, and Illinois opens it up to a 9-point lead. Here's Humrickhouse. Lobs it inside Johnson. Kicking in the corner. Good ball rotation. 5 to shoot. Humrickhouse again. And he got it. Ben Humrickhouse red hot. He's got 8. And Chris Collins, but cannot do it. They have missed their last 7 field goal attempts. Humrickhouse is wide open. And he hits.
For guys to the offensive glass, and it's hard for Northwestern to match up in the transition game.
I mean, 5 points for Northwestern in 11 minutes. Barry able to end that, but the points are hard to come by, to say the least, for Northwestern. We'll see whether Ty Barry's 3 stems the tide a little bit here.
Well, they've gotten back to that ISO ball. Watching Martinelli and Barnheiser play, they got to get Ty Barry involved in the offense just like that.
There's Riley right into Barry, who falls down. Ty Barry for 3. Not there. Yakachonis the rebound for the Illini. Tried to build on a 14-point lead. Johnson strong to the hoop.
Possible the guard right there in train.
Still 15 to shoot. Martinelli for three. That one rims out, and Davis the rebound. Here comes White the other way for the Fighting Illini.
Well, Martinelli's been shooting it well, but he's fallen in love with that three ball.
And Davis bangs one home.
Jake Davis definitely loves the three ball. Shooting 31% on the season. Majority of his shots are from that three-point line.
Barry tries to answer for the Wildcats and does. Ty Barry continuing his strong play off the bench. Has more than half of Northwestern's points here. They finally cracked double figures.
That's been their best offense, running him off those pin downs and those floppy actions.
On the other end, Gibbs Lawhorn answers. Full out. Illinois still has 86 more made threes than their opponents. On the move, it's White with the jam. And Northwestern calls timeout. Mass substitutions here on both sides.
It just makes you wonder when Ivisic does come back and you can play those two together. Coach Underwood is a layup there by Barry. Coach Underwood was really excited to have those two on the floor together. Really thought he was going to take their defense to an even higher level.
And Boswell here. What's amazing is Boswell and Yakachonis, well, I was going to say they haven't scored. And Boswell gets his first basket. I mean, Yakachonis has not scored in this game, and it just has not mattered at all.
Yeah, this team is built to make a deep run. They have so much depth and so many options to get baskets.
As Leach gets one for Northwestern, his first points, but it's pretty amazing with Illinois. They have 8 different players who have scored at least 20 points in a game this year. That is tied for the most in the nation. It's the most for any Big Ten program in at least the last 20 years. Riley sticking with it there, and the tip in. Want to make other guys other than Barnheiser and Martinelli take shots, and that has worked to perfection here.
It's worked to perfection in part because Martinelli and Barnheiser and White again with the three. Martinelli and Barnheiser have not done a great job at finding guys and getting off the ball on time. Illinois' action on the other end is just so hard to guard. A little horns twist, horns action, hand back into a flare, get the ball moving. Easy shots for Illinois.
Barnheiser left it short, but draws the foul. We'll see whether Brooks Barnheiser can get into the scorebook. He missed.
Best offense, getting him coming off screens. The one-on-one defense, do that, you have your hand on everything. It really puts in, takes away confidence. Northwestern can't get into your set. You always have a set defense. But that left-handed hook pass by KJ, you only get that from Vilnius as Martinelli finally gets one to go.
Both of Martinelli's baskets have come from three-point range. And that, although, as we said, he's shooting it better this year, that's not really his game. Speaks to the job that Illinois has done inside.
Yeah, and he's definitely relying on that too much. I think Morris Johnson Jr., KJ showing off some more. Morris Johnson Jr. has done a good job at kind of taking away his confidence, forcing him, maybe even tricking him a little bit to fall in love with that jumper.
As the first basket for Yakachonis, who is the leading scorer for the Fighting Illini. There's so many guys that played well here. Martinelli goes to that hook that he loves. Sheravino, nice job flying in to get the rebound.
And that's what Northwestern had to do coming into the game, was with Morris Johnson Jr. I know he was by the rim that time, but beat up that offensive glass. And Martinelli did a good job at finally getting the switch with White, but he has to take his time in that situation. Davis, excuse me.
Illini can wind it down nearly the entire way here, about a second-and-a-half difference. Game clock and shot clock. Here's Boswell working on Barnheiser, gets him in the air, and a foul on Brooks Barnheiser.
Is the Alfred. So important to their success.
Yeah, Kylan Boswell was the man on that team. And then they moved away to get a little bit more basketball exposure and found his way back here, and has been great for Brad Underwood this year.
Really been the man since 8th grade.
Here's Leach, does not get it off. And so the Illini go to the locker room with a
injured there, right? But a good start for Northwestern. You got to get a good possession here. Find the mismatch. There it is right there. Go to work if you're Nick Martinelli.
Martinelli backing his way down patiently and goes to the right hand, somewhat uncharacteristically. Gets the first two of the second half.
He's added that to his game, that right hand. We know, he's going to get back to that left, but we see the growth, and that's what I thought we were going to see from him early.
Here's Johnson with a jam.
That's what you're always going to see. Kaspars Yakachonis holding on to the ball, being a wizard with it. Morris Johnson Jr. finishing at the top.
Now Leach around the screen from Nicholson.
Using his positional size to disrupt Northwestern.
Yakachonis on the move against Leach. Beautiful lead for Johnson, who will go to the stripe. Tomislav Ivisic out with mono, and I said,
if you're playing with Kaspars Yakachonis as a big and Kylan Boswell, sometimes all you got.
Barnheiser creating a little space. That one rolls out. Keaton Fitzmaurice keeps it alive. Leach for three, also short. Boswell now ahead to Yakachonis. He'll try a three and hit. Kaspars Yakachonis, his first three of the game.
Kaspars Yakachonis, so heady right there. Just a little leak out. Saw Illinois was going to get the rebound. He's shooting 41% from three in conference play.
There's Leach with the pull-up. Able to knock that one away.
Northwestern got lucky. Jalen Leach has to kick that ball to Nick Martinelli in the corner again. That's the same as a turnover if you're Northwestern.
There's Martinelli on Yakachonis, and he gets the layup.
This is what I thought Northwestern was going to do to start the game. Martinelli was matched up with Johnson. I thought they were going to do a better job at finding the mismatches, getting Johnson off Martinelli. That's a bucket on Yakachonis and on Trey White now for Martinelli.
Martinelli into double figures for the 19th time in 20 games, but Yakachonis answers with his second straight hoop.
Freeze right now.
Yeah, it feels like they're completely out of sorts, right? Just not doing what kind of got them here. As Barnheiser gets the roll, that is the first field goal for Brooks Barnheiser. Ignatius was telling me at halftime they're off to an excellent start, have a good chance to be in the hunt in the IHSA tournament coming up later this year as Jalen Leach hits the three out of the corner.
Northwestern loves that out of bounds play to get a corner three, kind of an old school, used to call it America's play.
Oh my, Morez Johnson. But again, Illinois just quicker to everything here, and Riley gets the lay-in. Northwestern just does not look dialed in any way, Jordan.
Yeah, they've had spurts, but then it's a little puzzling because they kind of go away from it when they do, as Martinelli knocks down a three. But yeah, you're 100% right, Dave. They're just not locked in, seem a little bit unfocused.
Yakachonis here in the corner. Riley, that three doesn't go. Again, the offensive board, Johnson, and he will go to the line in Northwestern.
Yeah, that's exactly what you talked about, not being focused. If that's happening, that's
13 points now for Johnson, so he's responded in a big way.
You want to see more of it.
There's Leach on the move into Humrickhouse, and he lays it in. Jalen Leach into double figures with 11.
Jalen Leach rejected the screen this time, and no rim protection down there, just Humrickhouse. Easy finish.
There's Boswell up on Leach, and he'll go to the stripe. Number 2 on the grad
screen to reject, it breaks down your whole defense. Square, square, until you hear the communication, and he's not being square. He's just kind of letting you.
Yakachonis on the drive, just shoves Sheravino out of the way and gets a hook on the drive. Johnson holds his ground, and Martinelli can't hit. Hunger the offensive rebound. Here's Sheravino out of the corner. That's short. He tracks it down, though, gets it back to Martinelli, who lays it in.
A little dead arm. Certainly hope he's okay, but that's really the first time you felt Northwestern deliver a punch today.
There's Davis for 3. He got it. Jake Davis, the transfer from Mercer, now has 11 points. That is one shy of his high in an Illini uniform.
Kylan Boswell with the downhill attack. Every action in Illinois has to be guarded. Every one is a scoring opportunity. Great read by Boswell.
Barry drops it off now for Martinelli, trying to maneuver inside, and he does. Obviously, they're hoping Ivicic will be back sooner rather than later. It's always hard to tell with mono because there's doctor's call in terms of the spleen, as Luke Hunger hits a three. Luke Hunger certainly needed that. He is, to say he...
Prepare for March for sure. Be healthy, be on point, because they don't really have a weakness when they're right.
And with Minnesota's win yesterday, as White just a clear path to the basket, and he lays it in. With Minnesota's win yesterday, when we woke up this morning, every team in the Big Ten was in the top 100 in the net. I mean, you want to talk about a good league, top to bottom. I mean, we're talking about 18 teams, and every one of them is.
And this Brad Underwood team, so well coached, they do it.
You see, for Northwestern, this will be just the fourth free throw of the game, and Leach rattles it home, much to the chagrin of the fans who were hoping for nuggets. Yeah, there's chicken on the line, as there is in many Big Ten arenas. Heinrich House was the story in the first half. 22-point lead. Interesting that Brooks Barnheiser really hasn't played much in the second half. Johnson unable to corral the alley-oop. It feels like Chris Collins has made the decision that getting him the rest with this important stretch they have coming up is probably more worthwhile than throwing him out in what obviously is a little bit of a lost cause.
Yeah, great move by Coach Collins. I think, again, shows his ability to coach the game. The little things like that as KJ's going to walk to the rim. This pick and roll game for Illinois is special.
Better opportunity to do that in college basketball in the United States than he would in European basketball.
Yeah, well, I recall my first time going over to Italy and, not having that 24-hour access, taking an 8-hour.
Living on his own as a teenager, I mean, it's just a totally different world, but he has come over here and he is so focused on honing his craft and has had just a great year as Hunger hits the pull-up there for Northwestern. YouTube and Instagram to get immediate access to the best highlights, features, and teams you love. Off the foul here, Boswell hanging in the air.
Boswell's actually second on the team in scoring in Big Ten play.
Barry with a three ball out of the quarter, and Yakachonis the rebound, the long outlet to White. And he'll slow things up temporarily. Now a nice feed inside, Johnson over Hunger.
And that all starts with KJ. As soon as he got that rebound, his eyes were down the floor. Reminds me a little bit about Steve Nash used to talk about when he would get rebounds immediately, or even an outlet pass, immediately goes to the opposite rim.
There's Leach for three. Jalen Leach is
game that Northwestern won that when Martinelli was in position and able to close back to the backside. Illinois has made a living out of exploiting that.
There's Fitzmaurice down low. He'll go to the hook and hit. For angle we should have taken on those flying Illini. I know Stephen Barlow has some strong opinions as well from the years I've spent working with him. Shot clock at 5 here. Fitzmaurice going to his bag of tricks.
A game that seems like it got away. That didn't seem like it got away from you. Getting the
warm-ups there in Lincoln. We'll get you out there as soon as the game with the Fighting Illini. Ty Barry saying he did not touch the ball. I'm not sure it's particularly relevant to the 16-point game. Boswell hits inside and he'll go to the stripe. You look at their losses, and lost 7 games, 5 of them by 5 or fewer points. Look particularly interested in fighting back. And so, again, those are 2 exceptions to what has been the rule, which is this is a team that plays everyone tough. But it is interesting from Chris Collins' point of view of, hey, what can you do different in situations like this?
Yeah, and I think part of it, you're running into a team that just came off a loss. But, again, a lot of that is focus. You have to understand what you're walking into, and you have to take your level of focus up a notch.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it was.
There was 2 jump balls right away. and that set the tone. And that's your freshman, who's your freshman top 5 pick. Like, that says a lot about the maturity of him and the maturity of this team.
There's Justin Mullins back in there. A nifty layup there for the transfer from Denver. Played his high school basketball. A 14-point lead that frankly does not in any way explain how much of a mismatch this game has been, as Davis misses that one. Battle for the board, and it's going to stay on.
7 offensive rebounds for Reese. Coach Underwood challenged Johnson.
1 of 2. And they won that game by 39 against the Nittany Lions. They didn't have Yakachonis in that one. I mean, again, it just speaks to the depth of this team as Mullins hits a 3.
Justin Mullins for 3.
5 points now for Justin.
1 minute remaining.
Boswell backs up for a 3 that doesn't go. What great hustle by Davis, and the Illini get a fresh 20. Now Berry with the steal for the Cats, and he lays it in. And now Ty Berry is incredible.
4 or 5 minutes.
Give Northwestern some credit for battling here. And a foul there will send Gibbs Lawhorn to the line. The free throw line is his first 2 attempts of this game, and that one rims 10 network, but this game's gotten a little more interesting as the
Morez Johnson Jr. 5 offensive rebounds around the ball again.
And now they foul.
Foul the Wildcats, number 24, KJ.
Missed opportunity there by North.
It's very quiet in here. That is that's remarkable. It's like a lifeline here.
Northwestern right here getting maybe a little misdirection, a drag screen into a down screen, something like that to catch Illinois sleeping. See a quick screen here from Fitzmaurice.
Wyndham, now Fitzmaurice will throw down the dunk. To an 8-point game. Boswell trapped in the corner, and Wyndham fouled him.
Youngsters are learning.
Boswell pass coming in, one that's been ranked in the top 20 by National Recruiting Services. There's Wyndham ahead to Sheravino. That might have been overly ambitious.
That's the rookie, that's the freshman coming out in you, but I love he's getting comfortable. You see he's comfortable making that pass. Obviously not on target there. It's time and score. You're down 9. Pull up for 3. You made a couple shots. Try and make it interesting.
And give the young guys credit for some fight for Northwestern, but give Illinois a ton of credit for a fabulous start to this game. They built a huge lead at the half. We're up by 22. Northwestern led for just 28 seconds, and the Illini win for the 9th straight time at home against Northwestern as they take it by the final of 83-74. For Jordan Taylor, our entire